Okay, welcome back to the channel again, this time for part 2 of the Jordan 3 video. As is now become a customary fit pick up here from today, so you can see like the rest of this. And then, yeah, we're going to be doing part 2 today. I'll shoot an image up here again. You'll have seen in the first one. So this is the bad shape years, 2016 through 2019. I want to say it is. It's one of the biggest bits of my collection. So you can see a lot of boxes. There's not much space here. I might have to be doing some kind of jimmying around at one point. So let's kick it off. I'm going to try and do this chronologically, or as close to as possible. So still with the OG box. This is a size 12. These are from 2016. So I'm going to say 3 pairs dropped in 2016. And this was the first one. So this is the Cyber Monday. As you can see, this is like an overall black colorway. The thing with this Cyber Monday colorway is that the leather is like all over completely real leather. So these feel, I would say this leather is better than Shattered Backboard stuff. The shape's terrible, as you can tell from the name of this video. The shape is awful, but yeah, I paid 52 US shipped like to my door for these back before before all of the kind of price jump on everything happened around sort of 2020 time. Yeah, I paid next to nothing for them. It's a colorway that I tend to wear if I'm going on a business trip, especially because I go to Seattle quite a lot and it rains a lot there, and it's all black leather. The other shoe that came out around that same time, very similar actually. I mean, I didn't pay $52 for these. I want to say I didn't pay much over about 100, 120. And this is the Jordan 3 wool. Also a very premium and kind of smart looking J. I always remember my first day at my current job, the VP sat next to me and he had these on. And I was like, damn, this is, I've never even seen those before. Must have completely passed me when they dropped all those years ago. But yeah, picked them up maybe 2019 for, yeah, maybe half of retail. So retail was really jacked up on those walls. Yeah, 200. Maybe that's just normal now, but I think for back then it seemed like a lot. So just keep going through quickly. The third pair that dropped in 2016. And in my opinion, probably the height of the bad shape. I think this is probably the worst shape of any Jordan 3 I think I've ever owned. That's the 2016 True Blue. OG Retro, you can see with the hang tag here. They're just not, I mean, the back, it looks really cool with the Nike Air, and as you can see, lots of creasing. I've worn these a ton. But like the elephant print is really jacked up, especially on the inside. The padding on the ankle here is enormous. The leather's really stiff. The leather on here is non-existent. I think it feels like plastic. An amazing shoe, and I'm really looking forward to the Wizards PE. Shoot an image up here. The PE that they made when he went to Washington. They're going to redo that this year in a new shape. Almost identical colorway, so once that comes out I probably won't be wearing my True Blues much more because of how similar they look. 2017, you've seen this on the channel very recently. So this is Atmos collab, Safari. Shape's still bad, but this colorway does bang. Packaging's awesome as well. Everything else about them is awesome. I do keep complaining about the shape on these shoes, but it is what it is. If I really thought it was that bad, I wouldn't own them, you know? Cool. And then the last one in this pile. So this is the JTH NRG. So you might remember Tinker Hatfield signature. You might remember Justin Timberlake doing the Super Bowl halftime show, and they shock dropped whilst he was in the middle of doing that. So this is another rendition of the white cement. I mentioned that I'm going to do a three-way video. Once I can get my hands on these Reimagines, you'll see these again. Tinker's signature on the back there, some dope little touches. It says Nike, which was supposed to be one of the original designs Tinker had for the 3. So pre-88 had a Nike stitched in here. Obviously had the Nike Air on the back here, but it also had a swoosh. So like continuing what we saw on the 1s. And then we kind of did away with the swoosh. You know, 3s, 4s, none of them have swooshes on them. So yeah. So that was the Super Bowl, or NRG, or JTH, whatever you want to call it. And then I want to say soon after that, hopefully these are staying in the right order, we had another OG rendition, this time the Black Cement 2018. So they were the 2018 Super Bowls. This is 2018 Black Cement. As you can see on the inside, again, the shape of the elephant print is super jacked up. I would say this is probably the worst, second worst shape 3 I've ever seen. Really puffy here, quite puffy, still with that red. Just a really unsleek toe box. I actually wore these last weekend, but having said that, I really don't wear them enough, and I think it's similar to the True Blues. Once your collection gets to a certain level and you have pairs with really good shape, it's much more difficult to kind of stomach putting those ones on because they're so bad. The Katrinas, still 2018, they're a really good year in 2018. So originally a pair that they released very small quantities of in 2006 to raise money for Hurricane Katrina relief. Basically the white cement, but with a red replacing the black that we see on here. So like basically it's a 4th white cement that I have. It's just that tiny little change, and that's it. There was a Sneaker Politics version that had some neon laces as well. It's one of those crazy ones where you can get those for retail, or at least you could. Like, I bought them very easily. To tell you how easy it was to buy 3s back in 2018, my card got declined on sneakers for those, and I was able to phone the bank, phone the bank, get my card reinstated, and then get back on sneakers and still cop. And that was a retro of a shoe that cost, I want to say it was like 15, 20, 25 grand for the actual like 2006 ones, and it's exactly the same shoe. More Tinker logos on the box. 2018 they really went to town, so it was the 35th anniversary, I think it was, or 30th year anniversary. What was it? Yeah, 30th. Yeah, 30th anniversary. So they went to town and they did all of this. So you can see here again with the swoosh, the lovely touch with the red Nike Air on the back. Again, that Nike on the inside. This is another another retro, Tinker retro they called them. Ton of like special stuff on the on the sole, on the insole. Tinker signature again. Yeah, Tinker on both of them. Both sides have the same thing. I'm going to wear these this week now that I've seen these, and I just like sometimes need to be reminded of how many pairs I have. What I really like is the black. Like these little hits of black really pop. I'm never a fan of having like black all over a shoe, as I say, unless it's for like a rainy Seattle work trip. It kind of looks semi-smart because has a bit of a good shoe vibe rather than a sneaker one. That I'm fine with, but there's too much black, it gets a bit too much. So really random box. Still in 2018. So this was the international charity game, International Flight. 2 names. It's a very random drop. I don't know exactly what the history behind it was. They have like stars on the lining, which is really odd. His signature on the tongue here. Everything is like a sail to the sail sport royal light bone. So sail and light bone, but there's not an ounce of white on this shoe. The tongue is actually really interesting material. Don't know why it had all these stars on the inside, but I think it was meant to represent a charity game that Jordan played in. Yeah, just not a nice, like, nice kind of change from the norm. Don't know why they did this one box. I think they did a 5 and something else when they did that drop. There's a couple of them. Still in 2018. This is one of my all-time favorite pairs of 3s. Another Tinker. So this is the 3rd, I want to say. I have all 5. Again, you see the swoosh. This is the Justin Timberlake Tinker Bio Beige, or JTH. It has Higher because there's a song Higher Higher on the album, Man in the Woods. There's a bunch of special stuff on here. Tinker logo again. Beautiful suede, beautiful leather on these. Like, these are really, really quality for I guess for a Nike, let alone for a Jordan. Really beautiful. Has that Tinker piece here. Also has Justin Timberlake's signature on the back of this side. Really premium suede. This smells of like that kind of saddle shop vibe that I mentioned before. Spare orange laces, spare brown laces. Insoles are specific as well, and they have these leather laces. I love this pair. I have a hoodie from Sneaker Politics, which is this colour. I always wear them together. Shoot an image up here. Every time I see that hoodie and I'm like, right, I want to wear that, I just go and grab these. Looks quite nice with it. You can wear cargos, you can wear black jeans, you can wear kind of anything with it. So, okay, I'm just going to pull these boxes across a little, just to make sure I still reach everything. Back to the OG box. In my opinion, the best Flyknit Jordan that Jordan Brand's ever made. This is the anthracite, black anthracite. It's basically an all over black colorway. This is another pair that I wear if it's going to be rainy or I'm going somewhere where there's going to be kids jumping up and down and I step on my feet or something. The thing with this, the reason I think this is really good is all of the elephant print is done there in Flyknit, which is just really impressive. The Rand is done in Flyknit, so it's just different styles of Flyknit. And then on top of that, you have a leather lining, and then even on top of that, glow in the dark outsoles. I'll shoot an image up here. I'll turn the lights on in here and take a picture after this video. But these glow in the dark, which is quite a nice touch. And they have waxed laces as well. So they do have lots of really subtle premium touches to them. This pair I actually went half size down with, so when I went to buy them I heard they do run really big, so bear that in mind. Probably one of the most underrated 3s in living memory, and I know Lewis from Jordan 3 Gallery is big on these as well, and he kind of says similar things, but these are the Chlorophyll 2018, so we're still at 2018. Based roughly on the Air Trainer 3 Chlorophyll colorway, so greys, whites, and that Chlorophyll green. Has the green Jumpman on the back. The Sail midsole, before the Sail midsole was cool, and I had loads of people when they first dropped, because there was just no hype for these types of shoes at this point, saying the Sail midsole and then the white looks really jarring. Since I've made the point to a fair few people that there's been a fair few really hyped up collabs drop that have white uppers with a green midsole, and like suddenly it's a genius design, whatever. Yeah, really nice pair in my opinion. I'm going to speed up a little bit. I realise this is taking a long time. Okay, so Mochas, end of 2018, so nearly in 2019 now. I actually bought this in 2019, bought them in 2018 when they dropped. They sat, I sent them back to Nike for free. Because it was 190 bucks. 190 bucks on the box. Flew to America, moved house, got back here. The first thing I did was rebuy them. So I was in the UK when I bought them for the pound equivalent of 190. Landed, they were on sale, walked into a Foot Locker, $120. Got them. I'll shoot up an image of the current StockX price. Should have bought 10. At 120, I should have bought 10 pairs. It's one of those things, collecting is long enough, you'll start hating some of your historical decision making. 2019, more Tinkerage. So early 2019, they made this shoe based on the Air Max 1 OG Red. So as you can see, the whole rand and both areas of the elephant print in that red, so it looks just like, I'll shoot an image up here of the OG Reds, the Air Max 1s. Again, you have the swoosh. This time they come off, right? So you can put your own swooshes on there. I've always had the elephant print ones on. They have a red, they have a grey, they have a 3M, and then they have a white. So you can kind of change it out. Again, Tinker Hatfield signature on there. They have the full Nike Air on the booty as well, as all of the Tinker pairs do. It's one of the most underrated packs, I think, in Jordan Brand history. Like, just no one cared. I want to say these are $225. Yeah, $225 jacked up price. Went on sale. Want to say I got them for about $150. This was back in the day when you never paid full price for anything other than a 1. The last JTH, this was 200, or supposed to be 200. They also sat. I think I paid 120 for them. And it's like it's called black and cement grey, so black cement. Essentially, it's like one of the things that they could have done with the black cement, I think. This is actually the Dornbecker spare laces in here. I've just put them in because it pretty much matches the silver here and the black laces. It's just a lot of black otherwise. You have an overall, like a kind of felt type of suede all over 3M tongue, which is quite nice. Problem with this pair is I had to go for a bunch to get a tongue that wasn't super janky. Signature again in the back, black on black Nike Air. Also an awful shape, made worse by the fact that it's an all black shoe, so the bad shape just looks worse. But yeah, nice to have. It's the kind of definitely the weakest of the Hatfield, Tinker Hatfield 3s, but like there's 5 of them. I had the other 4. They're on sale. This pair reminds me of a PE, so this is back to 190. New York Knicks also went on sale. Walked in, one of the worst elephant print shapes I've ever owned. This is the 3rd pair I looked at before just going, you know what, I'm not going to get anything better. The shape of the tongue is also atrocious. Look at that. But it does look like a shoe that, based on stock, it could be 10,000 because it's like a PE the only players have. So New York Knicks has the score on the back of the tongue when I want to say MJ routed them in the game. Last pair. So this is the last pair before the new shape. 225 special edition. Animal Instinct 1.0. So I think this shoe, I need to clean the bottom, so that's a little bit, getting a bit nasty. I want to say somehow kind of complements the MX1. I'll shoot up an image of here, the animals. There's a lot of heritage between the Air Jordan 3 and the MX1. They're, as I've said before, they're my 2 favourite Nike models, and they're very highly linked between like a fair few different colorways, like the Atmos, which I have both of, the red OG Reds, and these. But yeah, just really nice, premium. Love the tongue, this like complete satin tongue. So yeah, that is taking us up to the end of 2019. The next video will be in the next couple of days. Yeah, and we'll cover 2020 onwards. Yeah, that's it from me. Hopefully you enjoyed watching. As always, I enjoyed making it. Over and out.